In this session, what we're going to do is talk about how to enter a vehicle into your system. We're going to talk about how to connect it to your whole goods contact, and then we're going to do a repair on it. And then we're going to look at how everything falls into place in your general ledger and in your inventory. Okay? Step one to enter a vehicle in your system is you must put it in inventory. Now you can either A, go through setup to your inventory, or B, go into your utilities into inventory. So let's go to inventory here through utilities. What I will need to do is add the vehicle. Remember, when you're adding a vehicle to inventory, it's just like adding any other part. Could be like an oil filter or air filter, doesn't matter. It's going to be considered a part, a stocking part. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to go down to my used vehicle category here. And then we need to have a part number and a description. Part number could be anything you want. It could be the VIN, part of the VIN, a stock number, license plate, whatever you like. Okay, so I'm just going to put a plate number in here. And then what we're going to do is tell the system what it is. So let's say we got a 215 Chevrolet Equinox. At this point here, you can also go straight over to your pricing, and you can go put your cost in. So let's say we have a cost of $10,000. And I can set up my selling price if I wish. So if I edit my sell price, set it however you like. It could be fixed or cost plus or whatever you like. So I'm just going to say we're going to do it on a margin of 20%. Hit OK. So now I have the inventory card entered. I'm going to do a save. Once I have this in, I open it back up. I'm going to right click and do an edit. Now I have to be able to put one in stock. So how am I going to do this? You actually have two different choices here. If it's a vehicle that you already owned, you can go ahead and just do a recount up. Okay. Remember, if you recount, it will be a negative expense in the general ledger under the recounts, and it does increase your inventory value. If I receive it, then I receive it just like any other part again. So sometimes we may go to like an auction house and buy a vehicle and put it on the lot for sale, or a lot of times we just buy them from individuals. So what a lot of people do is they will make a supplier, maybe just call it miscellaneous supplier or something like that. Maybe put in the individual's name for the invoice number. That allows you to process that supplier invoice to a payable and pay him for it. That way you can track it in your accounting. Okay. I'm just going to say I bought this from Mr. Smith here, and I got one vehicle. Okay. Now I have it in stock. Once I have this vehicle in stock, I do need to link it to the contacts. Okay, so how does this work? I'm going to go up to search, service items here, search. This is going to take me straight to the contacts. So in the contacts, now I am going to go look for my whole goods contact. Once I find it, click, right click, add vehicle. Put in a plate or however you're going to do it. You can use Carfax to look it up. You could use your VIN decoder to look it up. You can also use your lookup here. So if I click on the car, 2015 Chevrolet Equinox, tell it where it's from. And then I can put in mileage, production dates, anything else I want. So let's just say it has 120,000 kilometers on it. And then I hit save. So now I have it in the system under the whole goods contact. I want to connect this to the inventory card. The way to do that is you make sure that that is highlighted. and then you hit select. So why am I actually taking the time to do this? Number one, whenever I go to do a repair and I pull that vehicle up, it will automatically bring that contact card information across with all the settings. Remember, we have like a shop supply exemption, tax exemption, things like that. So those will all work automatically. Your matrix works automatically. Your price level works automatically. Okay. So that it also gives us the capability of tracking any repairs, and we can pull up historical data. So now that it is linked, and you'll see down here it says link to that vehicle, we'll hit save. So now it's ready to be worked on. Close up inventory. And again, we can start a work order from prioritization or work orders. Go to my work orders, open my drop down. Let's go start a repair. So the first thing I need to do is find the item that I want to repair. Look for that item. There's my Equinox. Hit OK. So as soon as I do this, it immediately starts a work order. Again, brings over the contact information, brings over the vehicle. I am assigned as the service advisor because that's what I'm signed in as. I can assign a technician and then set my mileage. Okay. Again, if you don't know what your mileage is, you can always click on the vehicle and go back and look. Makes it very easy. Put in my initial mileage. And now I'm ready to go start working on it. So typically you're going to have a labor line and just a generic part line here. Okay. So if I want to go put in any labor for these jobs or job that I'm going to do, just simply right click on it, go to properties or double click and open it up. See, I'm setting a whole goods labor rate, put in my hours, whatever time we're going to have involved. Now I can also use cataloging here. So if I jump to my catalog, I can go in and look up anything I want. Let's say we're going to do a belt on this vehicle. So I can go look for a belt labor. Ooh, that's a pretty big labor there. We'll use it anyway. Hit apply. See, now I brought that labor across. And it's at my whole goods labor rate. When searching for parts, again, you can pull a part from either inventory or you can look them up online. Okay. Now, the reason why this is going to work so well is because I do have the vehicle cataloged. So if I click on that vehicle, you'll notice I have the cataloging button checked. So let's go into a catalog. If I right click, we'll go to a catalog. Now when I come to the catalog, it does not know what to look for, so you're just going to tell it. So if I type in belt, let's see what comes up. Hit search. So then we have our belts. Pick which belt you want. Hit apply. So now I've brought that belt across from the catalog. If I need to get a part from inventory, let's just go right click, add a material line. Again, I can just jump straight to inventory. Let's say we're going to do an air filter. And I know the part number that I want to use. So I just simply click on it, hit draw. Notice my cost here, $2.99. I'm using my price level, whole goods. Sublets. How do I handle a sublet? Let's add a sublet line. The sublet line is done just like any other job. So I'm going to come in here and put in my invoice as the sublet is done. Say I had to get, say, window for it or something. What is my cost on it? Who is the subletter? In other words, you're going to pick who your subletter is. And what is the invoice number. Hit OK. Again, not going to mark it up. It's going to sell it for the cost. So I have labor, I have parts that I looked up online or from an outside source. I have part from inventory and a sublet. Now, since I did look this up online, then naturally I would go to purchases, select my supplier, place my order, send it through. As the parts arrive, again, click on it, receive or open purchase order and receive. Put in my invoice and receive. So let's take a look at the cost analysis here. So when I look at labor, I'm going to have a slight amount of profit because I do have a little bit of a labor rate in here that does cover my technician plus overhead. Okay. But as I look at my parts and sublet, you'll notice no profit. Okay. If you want to have a profit, you certainly can. It's just internally made. Again, there's no money that changes hands here. Okay. So when I look at my work order, everything has been received and done. Here's my total, $244.98. Here's my parts, my labor, my sublet. I don't charge any taxes, no shop supplies, so there's my grand total. So next step is, once I am finished and have this all completed, then at that point, I can post it out. So here's what's going to happen. The inventory quantity will not be changed, but the value will go up. The value that it's going to increase is the amount that is on the ticket. So I hit next, outgoing mileage, next. You can print an invoice if you want. You do not have to. Hit post. And now the work order is posted out. So let's go look at that inventory item. Go to utilities, inventory. We're going to go look for that part. There it is. Edit. Right click and edit. So if I look at the history in here, you're going to see here's where I originally purchased it at $10,000. Here's where it recounted it down, and now it recounted it back up with that value. So what I need to make sure of here is I just go match this to the actual cost over here. So it's $10,244.98. So I adjust my base cost here. And since I'm selling it on a margin, see, it's going to automatically mark it up. That's ready to go. The other thing that's going to happen in here is that now, once I have linked it to that contact, I'll always be able to access history. So I can pull it up through the contact or the vehicle here. There it is right there. Edit. So if I come in here, I can go pull invoices, open them up. I'll always know what I did, have access to all my information. I can even go look up the supplier invoice. Okay. If I go into general ledger, so in my general ledger, what's going to happen here? So I have affected my inventory. Let's go look at this journal. So here I brought this Equinox in, $10,000. I did pull a filter from inventory. And then I turn around and put it right back. So this is parts and labor and sublet. So it does increase my inventory value. Okay. when I am looking at my whole goods down below, you're going to see these last three down here, the sublet, other charge income, material sales, are going to stay at zero because I did not mark them up. If I did mark them up, then I would have a negative expense here, which is a profit. Now, since I do have a little bit of profit on the labor, you will start to see a total here come up. So if I go look at this journal, there's my labor. That is offset by the cost of the technician. And that is how you do a repair on a vehicle.